and their rich friends, and then the Forever Young Senior Center, which is no more. Thanks for coming.
Yes, good morning, folks, and happy May Day. I couldn't really do an introduction there because, you know, as soon as the stream went on, the event began, and, well, here we are. Yes, happy May Day, angry pacifist. So we're going on a little tour right now.
Hello. Hello. Character people.
Right.
Now
they always see this and say, no, my choice. Just kind of keep it together. Police, bring up the rear. Police, bring up the rear. Got 12 people who can't even keep it together.
Hopefully everyone is doing well. I'm using Broadcaster app right now, so if the social stream is slow, well, that's Ustream's problem. So this is a little pre-action before the action really begins at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. at Bryant Park. But here, hello. Hello, Nimbus. Yes, happy May Day.
I'm not going to go live. I'm just going to take photos.
All right.
Watch one channel. There's no point in splitting it up.
So we're walking up a little hill right now. It's always fun.
Folks, there goes the gourmet food for Lord Days into the courthouse.
Is that right? That's really what it is?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah. Let's go ask them for a sandwich.
One of my protagonists has that courtroom right there, Judge Menardo, who had a history of doing this with the mafia. No.
May I remind you that we are in Staten Island for those of you who are tuning in. We're doing a little tour of some of the inequities here, the inequitable spending of sorts that the New York City government is implementing.
Folks, the luncheonette of the 1%. Judges and lawyers. It's called
Gavel Grill.
Hello, Mary. Amen.
Hello, Mary.
What is that?
Folks, the new courthouse for Staten Island.
Ah, yeah, that is a little Police everywhere, justice nowhere.
So that's the new courthouse.
Courthouse, not for justice for all, but for just us. the rich and the powerful, the lawyers and the judges of Staten Island. It was supposed to cost $228 million to build. 5 years ago, Jim Molinaro, as he was making his dishonest third run for borough president, said it was going to cost $40 million. A ridiculous lie, but nobody held him up to it, except myself. It should be closer to $500 million to build that, whatever it is. And meanwhile, we get the same legal system. Justice for the rich and nothing for the poor. We have to change that.
Bill,
Yeah.
can I verify something then? So as of right now, it's definitely 188 million over budget, if I have your numbers right.
I would say we would have to dig to find that needle in the haystack to get the accurate numbers. As I've poked around, it's over that number that was originally budgeted.
I had to jump in and say Happy May Day. Fuck this.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic in a way because
Dallas was $400 million.
you see there is construction going on here in Staten Island, but
As we pass by here, I want you to understand, this courthouse is being built on a cemetery. The bones of people who died 150 years ago, mainly from tuberculosis, wound up being buried over here, which previous to this courthouse was the municipal parking lot for Staten Island. The bones are still there of our Irish and German ancestors. So much for justice for all.
as I
Those bones were discovered, it actually halted construction on this project for a week or two, but that was just a bump in the road to the corporate state. They don't let anything get in their way. That's why we have to continually oppose them.
Right on.
Yay.
as I was saying, it's a bit ironic how there is some construction going on here in Staten Island, but not in the areas where the construction is needed.
From this way west is called the North Shore. We are suffering from homelessness, joblessness, underjob, value, and we have one of the highest HIV/AIDS rates in the city. We don't need a new courthouse. We need a better legal system, and we need a more focused economy for the poor and working class people of the North Shore of Staten Island. The Ferris wheel, where we're going to be walking past pretty soon, next 20 minutes, is not the answer. It's retail jobs, mostly for a Ferris wheel that's going to cater to rich tourists coming off of the ferry boat. It is not producing the jobs right now needed for the North Shore of Staten Island, from here to Port Ivory, in the northwestern corner of Staten Island. Shame on Mr. Third Term Molinaro, who said at a forum at the Newdorp High School, no, we don't want any trailers for the people who are homeless from Hurricane Sandy in Miller Field. Thank you again very much, Mr. Molinaro. It's time for you to go and take the rest of your cronies with you.
Word on that.
Second that.
Well, we're going to turn around and try to make it 95 both.
Elkingville, yeah. That's where Vito Casella's office used to be. That's fairly accurate.
Directly across the street is the taxpayer building that used to be Manufacturers Hanover Bank. Then it became the Forever Young Senior Center. This past year, the community agency for senior centers said we don't have any money to spend for this. We're closing it down. I couldn't help but look across the street and ask Diane Savino when she came here several months ago looking for votes, ma'am, can't you use the office of state senator to point to that incredible monstrosity for the just us, the legal elite, and compare that with the slight amount of money needed to keep this senior center open? And she said she'd look into it and do everything she could for us. She did nothing for us and was reelected shortly after that visit to the senior center. All of last year, I went to DOT asking for a crosswalk to be put back in here. There used to be a crosswalk for the high school students coming down to the buses and senior citizens crossing the street. It was never done. It was not a priority. The priorities of this administration, both city and borough, are that courthouse and the Ferris wheel. That is not democracy. That is not the voice of the people. People risk their lives every day crossing this crosswalk. There should be some traffic signal or some traffic markings to slow traffic coming through here. It was never done. No due diligence for Sandy, no due diligence for senior citizens, no due diligence for the people of Staten Island who need a better legal system that doesn't take advantage of their problems. Instead, we got this monstrosity for the rich and the powerful who, from my experience, couldn't care less about us. We need change. And today, let's peaceably make that known to the rest of New York City with our voices. So again, thanks for coming. Our last stop on the tour of the ever-changing St. George community is the new Ferris wheel, the Molinaro Bloomberg Ferris wheel for the rich and the powerful. And hopefully, one day soon, we can have a senior center open up back in this community for the people 60 years old and older to come and socialize their last years together in a healthy environment. Shame on the city, shame on the community agency for senior citizens for shutting this place down.
Shame, shame, shame. We definitely need a political structure that isn't fueled by corruption and counts on public ignorance.
Also, we have
straight and intervene in the affairs of men.